Have you ever been told that cycling fitness doesn't translate into other sports? Well, today we're putting that to the test. So we went out for a little trot with a group called Fury's Running Club here in Sydney. We then got our post-run hydration fix, and then later in the afternoon we were heading over to Heffron Park. Once we arrived at Heffron Park, we were pinning on a number for the third time, diving headfirst into the chaos that was about to unfold. We found ourselves inhaling a post-ride brew for a hard-earned thirst, some would say. The only question that was left unanswered.
Mate, cyclists can run. It's been answered.
Jackie boy and I are off to join a run club this morning. So we're testing the waters to see if cycling fitness translates into overall fitness. Jack has gotten his winter arc and gotten into running, and he's dragged me along with him. So we're heading to this run club that's not a run club, but an event by Satisfy, and then it's run by Fury's Run Club, which is quite well known in Sydney. 16, 17 Ks, let's see how we go. Get into it. It's also fucking freezing right now. It's 7 degrees. In shorts and just a shirt, it is not a vibe. We're also testing out these trusty headphones. So I was on the AliExpress chain for a bit and they broke numerous times, so I had a brand reach out to me called Nank, and they've sent me these ones. And you can actually like tuck them into your ears, so you can be an antisocial bastard if you want to, or you can be social.
They're gonna know, bruv. They're gonna know we're cyclists.
Yeah, hide your knee tan, lad.
Good morning. Welcome to this month's
Pace is pretty steady. I think we're going like a 6-minute pace, and we're just chilling. Feeling good, boys? Bladder's about to pop, say less. Really wondering if the stabilisation will look any good. It's definitely warming up. Long sleeve was good at the start, but now it's fucking hot. Harbour bridge in the back. Jack was just spinning a yarn to me and he was like, it's looking like a bit of a Dave. And I was like, I haven't said Dave in a video in a minute. Ever since Ash gave me shit for saying Dave, I haven't spat the Dave yarn, but Dave is definitely present. Little Dave Ferret. "31 minutes in, done 5.2 Ks, and I think my average heart rate's around 129. So cycling fitness is holding strong.
So many clothes, I've got about 8 layers, and then Dave turns up.
Who, Dave Ferret?
Yeah. Now it's time to pop everything off.
Oh shit. That's the thing, running makes your legs cook. Yeah. Cycling not as much so, I don't reckon. We just did 10 Ks and we've stopped just on the other side of Anzac Bridge. So never ever been down here before. So we ran along there, over that bridge over there. We've actually never been down this area before. Mint. How you feeling, brother? Cycling fitness translating?
No.
No?
Not at all.
I've just finished the run and we are back at Old Assembly for coffee and some food. So Good Ways Deli and Artificial Coffee are sponsoring this run apparently.
Mate, cyclists can run. It's been answered.
Hopefully they got saucy rolls in there though.
Sorry?
Yeah, we can run back to mine if the coffee doesn't come out my cheeks.
Alright, let's check the turtle head situation and surely this is good.
Yeah, so hopefully there is some pastries, and it's been a minute since a sausage roll, or a saucy roll, so we'll see.
How are you?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm good.
I'm Max. Nice
I've
to meet
seen
you.
your videos.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Awesome, dude.
Great.
Just look at this.
What the?
Cadence.
Zero cal.
Fuck yeah,
feel
this
like
is some proper running hipster shit right here.
How many calories, bro?
500 milligrams sodium, citrus, 0 sugar, 0 calories, bit of salt.
How good?
No caffeine, lad. No caffeine, so it's not
Bin it?
quite your
Bit of magnesium.
not your nootropics gel that you need. It'll do.
So that was the Satisfy running event, run by Fury's Run Club here in Sydney. It was pretty good. Honestly, huge turnout, like fucking massive turnout. Didn't realise run clubs were such a big craze. Like, obviously you've seen on social media that they're going pretty crazy, but so many people turned up. So I'm considering heading over to Heffron this afternoon to race a crit at Heffron, which is like a racetrack, small criterium circuit in the east here in Sydney. So heading out to do that this afternoon. We're at Heifers and we are racing B grade heifers.
Nearly going. Nearly there.
Hello, mate.
How are ya?
Good, you alright?
Yeah, good man, good. Thank you. So the last time I raced Heffron was actually on Thursday. It was for SCC, so Sydney Cycling Club, I'm pretty sure. Believe this event today is for Randwick. So I'm just doing a couple warm-up laps because I came over here with my partner. I didn't actually get any riding in this morning or today. I went out for a run, so see how our legs feel. But yeah, it's been a minute since we've been to Heifers, and I'm actually really looking forward to it because last time I rode Heifers, I was using tubes. So obviously higher PSI with tubeless, running a lower PSI, which essentially means it should be more comfy. So last time, it was fucking bumpy. That corner that we just went through, notorious for clipping your pedal, and I swear every time I've been through it, I've clipped. Heffron's a very bumpy course, lots of little cracks and pivots. Probably not the most ideal racing track in the world, but it's pretty famous in Sydney. We're popping a caffeine gel for good luck.
And in third position we have 23. And our first female, number 9, Belle. Congratulations, everyone.
How good.
So that was the first lap of Heffron Park, which is a criterium over in Sydney's eastern suburbs. I thought I'd break it up so you guys could kind of get a feel for the course or the route. And then for you interstate or overseas viewers, you can understand what we're talking about when we break down the race. So basically out the gates, it was actually quite hot and there were a few people doing little attacks and making or trying to hurt people in the bunch. Now, I'd spoken to my coach before this ride or before this race, and my coach suggested just to take it easy for the first 25 minutes, And then if I felt I had the legs, just give it an all send and go for what you can. So that was what we were doing at the start here, trying to sit in, trying to rest the legs a little bit, and basically just rolling with the bunch. However, we were still pushing some big watts with the guys, and sitting in or resting the legs wasn't really working at this point. For those of you who have never ridden or raced Heffron Park does get pretty windy in the afternoon, especially through this area here. So as you come over this little riser and the next riser, you're usually battling a very strong headwind. So the person on the front is doing a heap of work. You really want to sit and draft through this part. Even sitting on this guy's wheel, I'm still doing some decent watts. Throughout the day as well, a lot of people attacked through this section or tried to make a little breakaway and get off the front. So you have to be very careful and mindful that people could potentially attack through there and ready to react if that is the case. So I somehow found myself on the front for pretty much an entire lap. So coming through all these corners, no one wanted to roll around. There were times where I would look over my shoulder and be like, should I just ease up? Should I let someone else roll through? But I think the thing with crit racing that I haven't learned yet, or based on my inexperience, is a lot of people don't want to take a turn on the front and will let you just dangle out the front until you are basically bonked or blown up. And they're just going to sit in the whole ride, and then on that last lap is where the chaos unfolds. So I decided to drop the watts back a little bit and try and get someone to roll through, but then Bryce does a full-out attack, and some people decided they wanted to chase him. So people over the top here come round, and we're back on putting some big watts down because Bryce has done this sneaky attack. Now, I ride with Bryce quite a lot, and I knew that I could reel him in if I really needed to, so I told the guys around me just to take it easy and we'll eventually close that gap. Only a few moments later, we actually closed the gap to Bryce because he unfortunately got a drop chain just as he went around that corner. Now, you can see that there's two cyclists still lingering out the front, and we're trying to close the gap down to them. Wasn't really a team effort here, and I was drilling it at the front down the straight again. We did manage to close down the gap to the two guys that were out front, and we just passed them as we came through that corner a moment ago. And now we're coming down the straight, and I was sitting on this guy's wheel, little young lad, and I was telling him here, don't bother chasing, mate, just keep it steady, because I knew that we would again reel this guy in who was out the front. So during this race, there was several attempts where people tried to attack off the front, try and make a gap and get away from the group. Now, that would work if we had other people go with them, but typically it was only one or two people getting off the front. So when there's a group of 20, 25 people behind you, all pushing to try and close the gap, they're going to end up catching you. So it was pretty much a game of cat and mouse, and almost every time we did end up reeling them in. Now, I was making a conscious effort to try and keep my heart rate low. Around 165 was probably the best spot to be in. Typically, when it gets up to 170, that means I'm working pretty hard. We were actually approaching the 25-minute mark in this ride as well, and I knew that if we were 25 minutes in, my coach had pretty much given me the all clear to give it a red-hot crack for the last 20 minutes of the race.
What?
Now, there was a little bit of miscommunication back there with Bryce being on my wheel. I thought he said something like send the legs, not save the legs. But listening back to the audio, he actually said save the legs. So basically, I put in a massive effort here to get off the front. And I did get off the front. And I was looking behind me and I was like, oh, no one's chased. What's going on? So I ended up staying out the front here for about 2.5 laps. And then I decided I'm going to sit up because, one, they were not too far behind. It was probably about a 10-second gap, but it wasn't very enjoyable, to be honest, and I didn't know if I could hold it till the very end of the ride, just drilling it out the front by myself. As we just came across that line back there, you saw Allahan on the left, crouched down, taking some photos. So here's a little photo that he took of me when I was doing my little breakaway. If you want to see some more lifestyle content and photos of myself on the bike and off the bike, my Instagram is also linked in the description. But anyway, back on track. So my heart rate got really high here, and I was up at 177 beats per minute, and man, I was hurting. I was out the front here though, still trying to push and make some gap on the group. I thought at this point, I may as well give it a red hot crack and try and put some hurt in the group so that when I do get caught, they've actually worked quite hard to catch up to me because I felt like I had pretty fresh legs on the day. My main focus here though, sitting out the front, was trying to lower my heart rate a little bit while still pushing some watts, but not going balls to the wall where my heart rate was going to get up to 177, 178 again. So I thought if I could steady out my heart rate and sit around 170 beats, I could probably hold that for the next 20 minutes in this race if I really wanted to. I looked over my shoulder here and I could actually see that the guys weren't too far behind. They're about 50 meters or so, and I thought I'm just going to ease up a little bit, let the heart rate drop, and then rest the legs and hopefully sit in for a bit so I can recoup some energy. I saw James go for it there a moment ago because there was 3 guys dangling out in front of him. I'm actually yelling at the group here too, being like, we've got a gap, let's all work together. And this was probably the only chance throughout the day where we had a few numbers out the front and really could have made some ground on the main peloton or the main group. Unfortunately, that didn't work as planned, and we're probably too slow to react as a group. So the guys behind us ended up bridging the small gap that we had, and then it was basically all of us rolling together through the last few laps. Now we're on the second last lap, and people are trying to put down the pedal and make a little gap so that they can get away from the group. This is where everyone at the back of the group decided, hey, I'm going to pop out of being a passenger princess and I'm going to do some work. It was pretty much all on at this point, and people were really putting down the pedal, getting boxed out here into the dirt. Yeah, it was pretty chaotic. This is the final lap, and I thought I'd try and push up here on the inside of this bloke. However, he wasn't really letting me in, so I kind of got boxed out there, and it didn't work as well as I had hoped it had. And then I had to do a big effort here to try and come back to the front group. And someone actually behind me says, "You're not catching them." I mean, I put down the pedal and I tried to catch them and I did get up to them. But then once I got to the front, you know, I was doing too many watts and basically the legs blew up. Once this guy started sprinting, I knew I wasn't going to get podium. So I pretty much just sat up and took the L. But I also don't know if I could have held that inside line. Is there etiquette in the crit racing world where I probably should have eased off, or could I have just full sent it?
Burned too many fucking Beckies. Chris Miller would say, it's not a win if you don't come first, but it's a win in my books. Towed pretty much the entire thing. Made me stronger. Can't complain. But yeah, got boxed out like pretty much on the last corner, and then just didn't really have much left in the legs to push around. I tried to bridge to the front on the right, got boxed out, came into the straight, and I was doing too many watts for too little fucking energy left. Yeah, passenger princess galore today. Got boxed out on the corner, like last turn, and I was like, fuck it, I don't have like 1,000 watts to burst out right now.
It's just racing, isn't it?
Where'd you come?
I don't know idea.
Anyway, we got swamped in that sprint and getting told not to sit on the front the whole time.
He was on the front the whole time, to be fair. Too strong. Got a beer? Nice TT, yeah.
Cheers. For a hard-earned Thursday. Race report, we're back at the car. Didn't go as planned because I stupidly sat on the front the entire race. Tried to like sit in a little bit, but then people didn't jump around. We ended up doing 329 watts for 30 minutes and had an average for the 54 minutes or whatever it is, 50 minutes of 324 watts. So happy with that. Definitely made me stronger. Second time racing Heffron and only I think my third crit. So pretty happy with how it all went, even though I just drilled it on the front. Someone came over at the end, Luke, one of the directors, and said, the young guys know you're strong and they're not gonna roll a turn, which is kind of what happened sitting in my draft. Anyway, that's life, and if you want to see some more crit racing, and I will catch you in the next vid. Thanks for watching. Ciao.